I mean, people do send us sort of unsolicited CDs and emails and stuff, and to be honest, I never even read them now. I can't cope with it. So if something's happening and it's good, I'll know about it really, and I'll probably end up approaching them rather than. I mean, part of people I know that might say, or maybe people in the industry might say, this is coming available, are you interested in this? But in terms of sort of brand new bands, I think I will know if it's something that's sort of worth checking out.
And how do you go? Is it grapevine, you go gigs?
Yeah, so it goes gigs or through the radio, what people are talking about, what I've been reading, all those things really. It's just one of the things, if once you sort of become sort of immersed in it somehow, you just kind of know, you sort of raid up and sort of pick these things up really.
So before we move on to sort of other you touched on it in terms of ways of making money through other revenue streams, going in TV, product.
Yeah.
Traditionally, what is your traditional music sales? What's the breakdown in terms of vinyl, CD, downloads? When you're thinking of putting out a new release, what's uppermost in your mind in terms of distribution?
Well, I mean, the singles market is now 95% downloads, whereas the albums market is 90% CD still. So it's so obviously you're looking less. You're certainly not doing CD singles anymore. It's just singles. So you're looking at downloads, and if you want to sort of stand out, then you'll do a little 7-inch as well if it's the right sort of product. But they really, I mean, even 500 is quite difficult to sell actually. I mean, we're doing a couple next month. We're doing a Lightest thing like that, 7-inch, which we call a 7-inch, but it's one of those things that you kind of almost need just for the presence, just for sort of having something in a shop that people can sort of rifle through. But really, that's all about trying to sell the album still. It's about trying to sort of get those albums sold. I mean, what's working for us in terms of revenue is two things really. We've managed to get more licensing abroad to other territories, actual licensing. We used to just do little bits of export through our distributors who would export CDs to various territories. But we've actually started licensing out to labels around the world, particularly doing quite well in Asia. We've got a good deal in Japan. We're selling this new album, Monday, a catalogue which comes out middle of April. And that's quite a good source of revenue because Japan is still, they're selling more CDs in Japan than we do here. It's a really good market. They're having a problem with piracy, but it's nowhere near as bad as what we've got. And also in Japan, their CDs are fixed. It's actually illegal to discount CDs. I think the first 6 weeks of release, which is why they struggle with, which is why Japanese editions are always different because they make them unique so that they can't be counted by the sort of imports coming in from Europe or America. That's why they've always got sort of Japanese extra tracks and sort of packaging and stuff. So that's, I mean, I think we're getting almost as much as we've got back per unit as if we'd have manufactured it ourselves, which is for not doing any work over there. I mean, they're doing all the marketing, they're doing all the, sort of, we've just said, give us some money and you can have it. So that's worked out really well. Just done a deal for Taiwan, Hong Kong, and China as well, which could potentially be, if you can get to China, it's, obviously economy-wise, it's quite a good market. Yeah. And still trying to break. Yeah. I mean, it's quite new in terms of being able to sort of sell to the Western pop music over there, really. But there's certain things that are doing well. I think Selling seems to be getting some interest on the back of Sigur Rós, really. It's had a bit of interest. Well, they've done really well in those sort of Asian countries. And then the other thing in terms of income is placement in TV and film and video games, which is a sort of thing I've started concentrating on over the last year. I went out on a UK Trade and Investment and BPI sponsored mission to LA about a year ago, just to sort of see how it worked really. There was about 30 other labels or 30 other music companies that were out there as well. We were sort of talked to by sort of a group of various music supervisors and people that were involved in that side of the industry, and then got to be put in contact with those people basically, and had a bit of visit at Universal Studios, that sort of thing. And then having sort of met those those people, I went back in November with a couple of the labels and set up a sort of adventure meetings myself and just pitched tracks to various music supervisors. And the first one of those came in last.
The TV shows.
Sorry, music supervisors are the people that choose the music in films or TV shows or even games as well, video games. So they're either in-house, like obviously Universal and NBC and CBS are people that work there, but also there's independent people that will just be contracted in to do things for a TV show or for a movie. So I went out in November and did a sort of a crazy week, about 25 meetings over a week, chasing around LA in a hired car. And but that was the way to do it, and they're very keen on discovering new, particularly British independent music really early, because it's still British music's got such a good reputation. Same in Japan actually as well. They're really sort of keen on sort of Brit music. So we got all these great meetings, and the first actual sync, as they call it, came in last month, which was a sound track got placed in One Tree Hill. But there's a few of those kind of in the pipeline, hopefully as well, a few trailers and things that we might be out for.
One Tree Hill show.
Yeah, I think it's on E4 over here.
Quick show hands.
Yeah.
Quick show hands. Right. Quick show hands up if you watch One Tree Hill.
So are we in season 6? Right, so season 6 just finished. So it's season 7 that Senator in, and there's somewhere in the middle, I did know the episode name, might be 17, I'm not quite sure. There's a sort of a John Hughes inspired special, it's all a kind of 80s inspired show that's all kind of looks like the Breakfast Club and all those kind of movies that he did. And they've used some 80s music, and Senator did this cover of this New Order track, Bizarre Love Triangle, so they used that. So look out for that show whenever that comes in.
And what's that? So you've got this product placement?
It's not really product placement. It's just a sort of a music placement. I mean, it's a synchronisation. The fee that you get is for the synchronisation, i.e. the placement of that music into a production.
But I guess you're not really doing this. This isn't really about the fee, is it?
Mostly it is about the fee. Really, because if you get a good fee, I mean that One Tree Hill is not a particularly lucrative sync because of the budget that they have there. Partly because they have so much music in there that is licensed in.
Obviously, I'm not going to ask you what they paid you because that's between you and your.
Yeah.
But I mean, typically, what could you expect to receive?
You could get
universal type, ABC type placement.
It depends who you are. You see, the major labels will demand huge fees, but if you're independent, you could still get a good. I mean, they do it per side, which means that half the fee is for the recording, the master, and the other half is for the publishing rights, which is the rights of the song. So you could get 5 to 10 grand a side for that in a TV show, but for a trailer or for a film, I mean, you could be looking at more. I mean, they've paid more, but it's possible you could get a good sort of 30, 40 grand for each side for a movie trailer if you got a really good one. If it was quite prominently placed. Movie trailers actually have more budget for music than the films themselves, because that's out of the marketing budget rather than the creative budget. The music's the thing when they're making a film. The music's the thing that they do last, and of course they've overspent everything else. So they say, well, you've got to find 20 tracks, and you've only got $500,000.
That's a complete buyout worldwide in publishers.
It depends on the deal, but it usually is. Yeah.
You're not going to get repeats on that.
What, in terms of publishing?
In terms of play or extra repeats?
But you can still collect the performance on the publishing, unless they are crafty and they buy that out as well. But the rule is just don't sell it to them or don't, because some movie houses they want to actually, particularly if it's a right for hire, if they've commissioned someone to actually write some music for a film, they'll say, well, we have to publish it as well.